and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this hollering we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You ought to make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's who I am. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, this game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, KYOKradio.org. It's our winning Wednesday, and again, we got to say congratulations to Alexis. Alexis won $50 courtesy of the Sports and Wellness Doc here in Houston, and she is one of the top 6 who will be competing for $500 cash. That's right, 6 people made it all the way through 18 weeks and will now go on to compete for $500 cash. And we're going to talk about that today as well. A lot to talk about in the world of sports. Number 1, Baylor went down in men's college basketball, and we'll talk about that. The playoffs and the NFL are about to get started. There has been another coaching change, and there's rumors here in Houston about what could happen if they decide to let go of head coach David Culley. We'll talk about all of that on Winning Wednesday. If you want to get in, I want to hear from you. 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. Or you can text me, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. The email is hot and ready to go. AJ@KYOKsports.com. That's AJ@KYOKsports.com. Right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. That's 800-472-5145.
The legendary
KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. Legend continues.
I am Jacqueline Carr, and here is your winning strategy. We must treat our appearance as an extension of ourselves. We must tend to our image in such a way that is a statement about who we are. You gotta dress in a manner that says you are a winner. It is
Mike,
important
I can't
even
wait,
for
bro.
our youth,
I
particularly
cannot wait. I want to hear
that we get this right and make this
I want
a
to hear that.
priority. People would try to define you by the way you dress. A winning appearance and style should be fun. Style is distinct to each of us, but just remember to remain true to who you are and be mindful that some style choices may project the image that you may not want. Your clothing choices set boundaries and are sort of an introduction before the introduction. It's your style, and it should speak volumes about you as a winner.
All right, y'all. We're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all new 92.3 FM. We're streaming live on KYOKradio.org, also on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Roku. That's right. If you got a Roku streaming device, download the BS3 TV app, and when you find it, you'll see us right in the middle of it, along with some great shows. Mike Patton, touring the AFC South, has chimed in, saying glad the Giants came to their senses, but I'm about to go off a little bit on my next podcast dropping tomorrow. I want to hear that fire. Bro. I already know that's going to be straight legit lit. So I want to be on that. I want to hear it. So speaking of Joe Judge, he was let go yesterday by the New York Giants front office. As you know, Dave Gettleman, their general manager, has decided he's going to retire instead of face the reality of being fired. He's going to retire. Now, Joe Judge, after 2 seasons, man, just been horrible. I mean, just been horrible. 10 wins, like 23, 24 losses, horrible. Didn't deserve another chance, shouldn't have got another chance. I don't think it should have taken that long. My sources, though, and I'm not that guy. My sources, My people, who I know, told me that there were a group of players that went in and spoke on how they felt. And that's when ownership decided to make the change. When the players passionately said that they no longer had faith and confidence in Joe Judge, then they made the decision to go ahead and move on. I'm also told that Saquon Barkley was one of those players. That's important because Saquon Barkley is not that dude. He's not the dude that's going to be, throw me the ball and if I don't get it, I'm going to hold out. He's not that dude. So Saquon Barkley being a part of that group of players who passionately went in above Dave Gettleman directly to ownership and said, listen, we are not following this dude anymore. We don't believe this dude has the answer. And they brought examples. They didn't just bring emotions. They brought examples, 2 of which, of course, was Joe Judge deciding to, on 3rd down on the goal line, quarterback sneak. Second down, quarterback sneak. 3rd down, quarterback sneak. And now you're not even giving your team a chance. And literally what that said to the players is, he doesn't believe in us. We don't believe in him. Mike Patton said there indeed was a group of players that really didn't want him around next year. That's the only reason why it happened. Again, my people said, AJ, it was real. It was real. It was emotional on both sides. And then the owner came out with the statement that they were moving on from Joe Judge. Now, here's the thing about that. I'm not talking about reports. I respect the journalists. I even respect some of the journalists in this area, and I read their stuff because they do good work. I'm not talking about published reports. I'm talking about people in the building for the Houston Texans are saying there is legitimate work being done to explore the options of bringing in Joe Judge as the next head coach of the Texans, bringing in Brian Flores as the next head coach who was recently fired from Miami, or waiting to make an offer to Josh McDaniels after the playoffs are over for the New England Patriots. Now, I know people have told me that Josh McDaniels and Louis Riddick are tied at the hip. They're a package deal. They go hand in hand. What I'm being told is if Nick Caserio and Jack Easterby can convince Cal McNair that one of those three are the best solution for the Houston Texans, then they're going to make an offer to one of those three. Now, that being said, no word yet from either Nick Caserio, Jack Easterby, or Cal McNair on whether or not they are going to retain head coach David Culley, which makes sense. If you're going to make at least an offer to a Joe Judge or Brian Flores or even a Josh McDaniels, you want to make sure that you've got an affirmative yes before you let go of the coach that you really should be bringing back. I'm just telling you, I'm not reading published reports. I'm not going on, some knuckleheads, and there are some. Valid sources are saying that the Texans are exploring the possibility of bringing in another person from that New England coaching tree. Not the first time, will not be the last time. And if you have not figured it out by now, the McNairs love the New England model. They love, from players to coaches to executives, they love the New England model. So this is not as far-fetched as it might seem to be. Got to take a break. If you want to get in, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. I'll say this, just because you wear the same clothes as me, just because you try to comb your hair like me, don't mean you make it look as good as me. I'll be right back right after this on the lunch break on Legendary KYOK.
Are you looking to start a business? From side hustles to major business opportunity? Franchise 123 connects franchise buyers with sellers. And we have over 4,000 franchises for you to choose from. In one simple 30-second call, our live agents will sign you up to the platform. This is not a hard sales call either. We give you free access to our database. Yes, free access, no cost. We are the largest online franchise database in the world. You can find 95% of all businesses. Buying a franchise doesn't have to be complicated. We make it easy. And right now, some have no startup fees. You can turn your special skill into a franchise business or go full scale with all the top franchise businesses in the world. Sign up with Franchise 123 now and get your free guide to franchise success now. Call 800-419-5344, 800-419-5344, or text Franchise 123 to 63566. Text Franchise 123 to 63566.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now. 800-253-1892. 800-253-1892. 800-253-1892. That's 800-253-1892.
Tune in to Table Talk with your boy, TD Blackshear, every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 a.m. and 92.3 FM. See you there.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation and a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m. and the all-new 92.3 FM at KYOKradio.org.
You're listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm already laughing at some of the text messages and responses I'm getting. I don't have a check behind my name. I'm so sorry. I've never applied for a check to be behind my name. Doesn't mean that, I know some people. I'll leave it at that. I've always said, I know what I know who I know, and that's all I know. All right? So anyway, let me go to the phone line. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Sometimes what you know is true, AJ.
Yeah, I'm just, bro. Listen, I was verified before this stuff got verified. You know what I mean? I got 40 years in this thing. I ain't worried about these folks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And AJ, they would be surprised who people really know. It's not about how much what you have behind your name, but it's always about who you know that can get you more information that you ever know. From a philosopher or anybody.
Bruh, let me just say this. Adam Schefter's got a check behind his name, and I've never sent my article to a source and had them approve it before I released it. So I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely. Okay, and I hear what you're saying about, Cal and them loving New England, and they do. But one thing about me, sir, if I'm going for gusto, I'm not going to get some has-been. If you love New England that much, why are you not trying to get Bill Belichick? Why are you trying to get those guys that work under Bill Belichick? No. If I'm going to go get from New England, I want the best. And Bill Belichick have proven himself over the years, time and time again, that he do know how to coach. So they can get all the people they want to, New England whole personnel. It's not going to help here. Just because some things work for AJ, that doesn't mean that it's going to work for me.
And that's why I said what I said. Just because you wear the same clothes as me, you comb your hair like me, doesn't mean you can make it look as good as me. There's some people out there that make stuff look easy that's not. And I think Bill Belichick in the room is one of those. He makes coaching look easy because some things come natural to some people. Some people have an eye for things that the average person will miss. I don't care how much you study under them. It does not mean that you have that gifted part that you can't teach, that part that you can't transfer, that part that just comes with whatever the gift is that he's received. And I think we've seen it time and time again. You got a lot of folks that go out there with that Bill Belichick pedigree, and it doesn't work out. I'm hearing that the whole Brian Flores thing was not about his coaching, but about some of the Bill Belichickian attitude and way of handling people that went wrong. And Kenny Stills had a very telling post about Brian Flores that just lets you know it's not about his ability to coach.
Well, all I can tell you is that I still see the teacher outperforming his student. And until they can be thrown in from the work that he put in, man, I'll still look at the teacher as being the best. And right now, Bill Belichick, he's taking a rookie, and he's gotten to be a 500 team. So, that's remarkable. It's not all about the quarterback, but it's also about the coach who knows how to coach the talent that they have. And you know for yourself, AJ, the last couple of years, besides Tom Brady being in New England, Bill Belichick had coached guys that wasn't great names. And so he was learning how to get little and pull out so much more, and that's how that young man has became successful. So applaud what he's doing in that program, AJ, and can't be mad at him because he still finds a way to win.
Yeah, and I've said it, man. Bill Belichick is a dude, since he got fired from Cleveland, had the whatever went on with the temporary stay that he had in New York before he took over the New England job, he has found a way to win with other people not named Tom Brady. I mean, he was winning with Drew Bledsoe before he got hurt. He started winning with Brady, and then when Brady got hurt, he had an 11-5 team with Matt Castle as his starting quarterback. So I'm not surprised at what I see him doing with Mac Jones and with that team right now. But I'm just saying, guys that leave there don't always duplicate that. Mike Vrabel is by far the most successful Bill Belichick disciple. That being said, I don't know if you want to bring in a Joe Judge or a Brian Flores or even a Josh McDaniels to this team, from a city standpoint, from a fan base standpoint, even from an organization standpoint. Here's why you do that. You do it because it's your team, and you can do what you want to do with your team. And at the end of the day, I got to realize that this is the McNair's team. If they want to bring in every New England disciple, they can bring them right on in here, and can't nobody say nothing or do nothing about it.
Absolutely, AJ. But one thing I can say is it's nothing wrong with creating your own identity, and then you develop your format on how you scout, on how you get free agents. And right now, I just think that we just in New England. I mean, for the Texans is concerned, we just got on one team.
Yeah.
And so many other teams in the NFL, but they're so prone on just going to that one team. So nothing but kudos to them. I hope they give it to looking for. But right now, AJ, the Texans are in the turmoil, and I would hope and hate that they wouldn't, lead David Culley along and thinking he's going to be the coach for next year. And then all of a sudden, since those guys came available, they're going to kind of, push them out the door. I really hate that they wouldn't do that, AJ, but, we've seen what the Texans have done, since you come to Houston, so it wouldn't be surprising to me.
Yeah, I'll say this, Ferdinand. In business now, we're talking about in business. If you can't create something new, then duplicate something good. And that's what the Texans are trying to do. They don't have creators. Cal McNair ain't going to create an organization that's going to be like something we've never seen before. The people that he's brought in are not going to create something that we've never seen before. So since they don't have that skill set and that ability, the best thing that they can do is try to duplicate something else that works.
Okay, I got your point. Appreciate you, my brother.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
All right, Ferdinand, Caller of the Year 2017. Always a good call. Always a good call. Mike Patton, touring the AFC South, said, it's funny how folks want to say this about Flores when they had all the time to do so. I smell bull, AJ. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I do know that there are published reports now. I make the difference between an actual source that I have and published reports. Published reports saying that there was a rift that began to develop between the owner and Coach Flores when Coach Flores refused to tank a couple of years ago, 2019, I think it was, when he refused to, do what a lot of teams do in the league to try and improve their draft stock. Coach Flores didn't come for that, and he wasn't about that, and he didn't do it. Didn't do it. Won more games than they needed to win. And from what I'm understanding from this article, that's where the rift began. To the point where Stephen Ross even made calls to New England, to Bill Belichick, and to the folks over there and said, hey, what's up with your guy? Y'all told me this young man was this, and this, and here's what's going on. So I don't know, but I do know the Texans are probably going to bring him in. They can't interview him because they got a head coach. So I don't know. I don't know how the back channels are going to work. I do know that he is being discussed in the building over there between Kirby and Fannin. Hello, you live on the lunch break. Who's this?
This is your little bro checking in. What's going on, family?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. If you want to know how this back channeling thing goes, just call the Oregon Ducks, and they can tell you how Miami got Mario Cristobal from them.
Yeah, well, you are right about that, brother. You are right about that.
Yes, sir, man. I've been listening to interesting conversations going on as a new member of the state of Texas. I've been obviously watching more Texas sports. Interesting things happening in Houston right now with Brian Flores being available, and now the Texans are interested in him. Not surprised by that, but what I am surprised by is that Miami let him go, in which they let him go because of the rumored rift between him, the GM, and Tua. Now, I followed Tua's career a long time since he was in high school.
Yep.
very, very surprised to see him. That just doesn't seem like his demeanor getting into shouting matches with coaches and cussing out, allegedly him and cussing at Brian. That report to me didn't seem like the character that I've been following so closely since he was a senior in high school.
Yeah, I got to tell you, just knowing the family that Tua comes from, that ain't like him.
Yeah.
That's not like him at all. So there's something there. I don't know exactly what it is. Again, some of it I'm getting from published reports. Others I'm getting from colleagues who are around the program, so around the team. So all I know is what we thought it was on the field. It wasn't that in behind closed doors. And for some owners, like I said, it's their team. They don't want to have to deal with that. They don't want to have to put up with that. If that was the case in Miami, so be it. I'm curious to see if Ross is going to let Jim Harbaugh come into the league and go to another team. I know he made the statement of he didn't want to do that to Michigan, where he's an alum. He doesn't want to take Harbaugh from Michigan. Well, taking him is one thing. Him wanting to come is something different.
I personally, and this is just my personal belief, what I've heard from people around the Michigan program and alum, I think there's one job he leaves for, and that's the Raiders. That's just what I believe, based upon what I've heard. The grumble, they say they're only really worried about the Raiders.
Yeah. That's one guy I don't see coaching the Raiders. I know it's not the old Raiders where they were, the bad boys and the black and silver and all that. I know that, but they still ain't the Dallas Cowboys with the white hats and the stars. So Harbaugh just doesn't seem like he fits there in Oakland. In fact, if I'm Oakland, I keep the guy that filled in on an interim basis for John Gruden.
He didn't do a bad job at all. And the reports I read about that is that he's going to get consideration. He's going to get an interview, but they're likely not going to keep him around.
That don't make sense. We got Big Mike joining us. He's up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And tell me this, what's going to happen in Seattle, though, Big Mike? What's going to happen there?
It's time for Pete Carroll to go. I think it's time for him to kind of fade on into the sunset. It seems like there's a power struggle going on there, too, with him and Russell Wilson. They have some fundamental differences on how the team is being assembled. And I know Pete Carroll's not the GM, but he's pretty much the GM. And Russell Wilson feels like the way that they're not. Russell Wilson wants to make splashy moves. He wants to go get some guys, bring them in. There's been reports about pretty much a lot of the big name guys. Odell Beckham wanted to go there. They tried to bring in when they brought in Jimmy Graham. That worked out to a degree. They brought in the guy Dwayne Brown at tackle. He had some good time with it, but he said the problem with Seattle is that they got so much money tied up into Russell Wilson and other places. They're kind of cash strapped.
Yeah. And I know Todd is listening to that. He doesn't like those big-time quarterback deals because he feels like those hurt the rest of the team and the ability to put, talent around that quarterback.
Absolutely do. I mean, look at the guy we consider, most people consider to be the best player of all time in football, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Has Tom Brady ever made over $30 million in the season?
No, he hadn't. He hadn't. I think, again, the model is get that rookie deal on a quarterback and then fill in the blanks around him. And then when he comes off that rookie deal, pay him, and I think that's what happened. But like you said, a lot of folks had to go because they paid Russ that money. But here's the thing, Big Mike. Say it again.
I said that's why the Legion of Boom ultimately broke up, was because of that.
Yeah, I know Richard Sherman wasn't happy about it. Let me ask you this, though. If Pete Carroll goes into the coaching pool, that shifts everything. He immediately becomes the number one option.
Ever?
To me.
This is what I think. This is me. This is my personal thought about the profession of coaching at the professional level, where it seems like there's this shift towards players coaches. Pete Carroll's not that. He's a hard-nosed guy. It's my way or it's my way. A lot of guys don't want to play for those type of guys anymore. I mean, he's good at what he does, but Seattle's had some great football teams. And being from that area, I was there, most of my life until up to about a year ago now. Seattle's had some phenomenal football teams since he's been there, and they produced two Super Bowl appearances, one championship.
Don't bring it up, bro. Don't bring it up. Don't bring. I still can't believe they didn't get a ball to beast mode on the goal line.
And that's another miss right there.
I'm sorry.
That one moment right there is what caused a rift in that locker room.
Yeah.
Is what caused, because at that time Russell Wilson wasn't the star. He wasn't the guy. It was about that defense and Marshawn Lynch, and that call itself.
Yeah.
To me, is what broke that franchise.
Yeah.
Right. That moment, because you saw. I mean, I've never seen a secondary where all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys were all pro.
Right.
Pro Bowl guys.
Yep.
One of the best running backs in football that everybody's scared of when they see that man with the ball.
Yep.
The 2-yard line, everybody knows what's going to happen, and you throw the ball.
Yeah, you called the one play that had more that could go wrong than go right.
Mm-hmm.
And Bevel, to this day, swears if he had a chance to do it again, he'd do the exact same thing. To me, that should disqualify him from ever being a head coach in the NFL. But I'm sorry, that's just me.
Yeah, I feel you 100%. Honestly, I think I would love to see Russell Wilson in New Orleans or Jets.
Me
the Giants.
too. Me too. Say it out loud. Say it one more time so we can touch and agree on it, and it'll come to pass. Come on.
The Saints, you give Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, and he's only 32. He's got some good years left in him. He's got the Saints got some solid weapons down there. I mean, Jameis was playing pretty good football. I mean, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,100 yards where he got hurt. I think that'll do wonders for Alvin Kamara. That'll let him not have to be. You knew watching the Saints play.
Right.
Alvin Kamara's getting the ball.
Yep.
He's touching the ball 20, 25 times a game.
Yep.
It takes the pressure off him, and he can really flow in the offense. If I'm Sean Payton, I'm making a phone call to see.
Two places I want him to go, either black and yellow or black and gold.
Black and yellow's in. That's going to be an interesting situation too. And there's rumors. This happen every year. There's rumors that Mike Tomlin's available, but I don't think he is.
Yeah, no, especially after all that USC talk, I think Tomlin's going to be right there.
Oh yeah, I mean he has had a losing season in 15 years he's been there.
Over his career, head coach as a career, never had a losing record.
Yep. I think Pittsburgh is in. That's another interesting destination for him as well too.
Well, man, Big Mike, you got me excited. I hope some of that comes to pass. Do me a favor, give my love to my daughter, and hey, man, y'all stay safe out there, brother.
Yes, sir. I'll check in with you later.
All right, man. Thank you, Big Mike. Always a good call. Listen, I'm gonna take one more call and then we'll go into our break. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
This is Willie Gibson.
Willie Gibson. Willie, stay right there. Let me take a break so we don't have to be interrupted. All right.
Sure.
All right, Will Knows Podcast, Willie Gibson, up next, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. We'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
You are enjoying your weekend. Hey, everybody, it's Erica Campbell.
And I'm Griff from Get Up Mornings.
We want to thank you so much for rocking with us every weekday morning.
And after you enjoy your weekend, make sure you start your work week with us.
When you start your day with us, we'll help you get moving and motivated to have the best day ever. Go ahead, say it, Griff.
Best day ever!
So wake up with us. We'll be faith walking,
Love talking,
and joy living on Get Up Mornings.
Get up! You're listening to
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Do you have high blood pressure or diabetes? Are you over the age of 65 and covered by Medicare? Then pay close attention to this message. Medicare has introduced some new benefits to help consumers during these cautious COVID-19 times. They realize many of you don't want to leave your home to visit a doctor. So now you can get a remote patient monitoring device shipped to your home at little or no cost to you. Now your doctor can identify your problems in real time, which could potentially save your life. Victory Medical can easily ship this monitoring device directly to your home at little or no cost to you. If you have high blood pressure or diabetes and you're covered by Medicare, make this free call right now to see if you qualify for a new remote patient monitoring device. Call now.
800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. That's 800-213-9527.
The Lunch Break on the legendary KYOK.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. All new 92.3 FM. Streaming live, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Roku. You got a Roku streaming device, download BS3 TV. You got us right there in the middle of some great shows. Just got news that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have activated linebacker Levante David and running backs Leonard Fournette and Giovanni Bernard. They're going to have some help when they play their first playoff game this weekend. All right, let me go back to the phone line. The man who knows it all. It's Mr. Will Knows podcast host, Willie Gibson. Hey, man, what's going on?
You got it. What's happening?
Man, I tell you what, it's just good to hear your voice, man, because a lot is going on. You know, I sent you a lot of stuff last night and got another earful today that the Texans are serious. They're seriously considering exploring Joe Judge, Brian Flores, and at least making a run for Josh McDaniels when they're legally able to do so.
But they're able to do so now. The NFL changed the rules. This is the first year of it. They actually could have began interviewing him about 2 weeks ago.
But here's the caveat: they got a head coach.
They have a head coach.
They got a head coach.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I'm not really. I don't know. I mean, if it was going down, to paraphrase a popular lyric, let's get it over with. So for them to be dragging their feet the way that they are, I don't know that it. I don't know. I don't know if there's much traction.
And
if they're looking at doing something with Brian Flores, I mean, he's in Chicago today. So if they really want to do something, I think it would have been done by now.
Well, here's the thing, and again, the person was very frank because I asked some of these same questions. All right, so why then have they not just said, tell me yes or no if you want this job? And the thing was, they want to get a yes or a no from let me say it right. They want to get a yes from one of those three before they get rid of David Culley.
Oh no, that's not gonna happen. That's hustling backwards. They're not doing that. What's the incentive of that said coach to do that?
Bro, that's why I'm glad I got you on here to make it make sense, because I don't know. I don't know. To me, you come out and you say, hey, we knew it was going to be a tough year turning this around. We won as many games as we did the year before. This is the year that we're really going to push with Coach Culley and Brian Casario, and Nick Casario, and try and get this team headed in the right direction. And you bring everybody back.
Right.
But that ain't what they say.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's not what they're saying.
Wow.
All right, so I'm also hearing that something that we discussed about Brian Flores is accurate. I'm hearing that there was.
Oh, I've heard more.
I'm hearing there was a lot of not love going on between Brian Flores, the general manager, Tua, and Stephen Ross.
I heard flat out the words used, the term used, disrespectful.
Wow.
Disrespectful.
Right.
So, I mean, it's one of two ways. Like I said, we talked about it. The Belichick coaching tree. Some people feel, you see Bill, perform and run his program a certain type of way, and you get your own, and that's what you know. You feel like, hey, I could do that too. But the thing is, Bill has 6 rings. You don't. So I don't know how much weight that carry. Clearly not enough, if any, because he's no longer there. And not just him, Matt Patricia, Josh McDaniels, Charlie Weiss,
Bill O'Brien.
The list goes on.
Right.
So Joe Judge.
Yeah.
So the list goes on.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I heard something late last night after you and I talked that the term used was disrespectful.
Yeah. We got Willie Gibson. We got Willie Gibson joining us here on Winning Wednesday on the lunch break. I've said to you before, the one guy who just isn't cut that way, Mike Vrabel, has been the most successful guy to have come out from the New England Patriot organization and do that. And you straighten me out. He's really not a Bill Belichick disciple.
No, he played for New England, but he never coached for Bill. He coached for Luke Fickell at Ohio State. He coached for Bill O'Brien in Houston, and now he's the head coach in Tennessee. So yeah, he never was a Bill Belichick assistant.
And he definitely doesn't have that Bill Belichick assistant coach attitude, because from what I'm hearing about him, and Mike Patton can speak to that, he is truly a player's guy, and he works very well with the front office.
He does. Vrabel is a very matter-of-fact type person. You know, what you see is what you get. There's no sugarcoating. There's no packaging. There's no image consultant. It is what it is. Either you take it or you don't. And he's fine either way.
Yeah. Well, Willie, it's going to be very interesting. 7 head coaching vacancies right now in the NFL. 7. A couple of GM vacancies in the NFL right now. Any thoughts, feelings, strong innuendos about what might happen?
Yeah. I'm hearing strong indications that Kellen Moore is interested in the Minnesota Vikings play.
I could see that.
Yeah.
And I could see the Wolves being interested in him. He's their kind of guy.
Yep.
Okay.
And Dan Quinn is his name is being shopped. I mean, I'm not gonna tell someone the other day. I mean, if your name is not being connected, attached to any head coaching jobs right now, you need a new agent.
Yeah.
Your agent's not doing his job.
Yeah.
Because I should hear your name attached to every one of those 7 job openings right now.
Yeah, and that being said, Doug Peterson's agent is doing a great job. Dan Quinn's agent is doing a great job. And like you said, Kellen Moore's agent is doing a good job.
I'll say this. I don't know this to be a fact. I don't know that this is in the hopper, nor is this brewing. I would not be shocked if Mike McCarthy is relieved of his duties by Jerry Jones and Kellen Moore is made the new head coach of the Dallas Cowboys to keep him in-house.
That's not the first time I've heard that. That's not the first time that I was told that was the plan. And that would not be the first time that Jerry Jones did that, similar to what he did with Jason Garrett and Wade Phillips.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Willie Gibson. Go ahead, Willie.
No, I just wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yep. All right, so that move. Any other surprise, kind of dark horse candidates that are under the radar that you can see getting a job on this cycle? Not named Eric Bieniemy, not named Byron Leftwich, somebody that literally nobody's talking about.
I have to think about it. Not off the top, no. No, I mean, they're talking about him, so don't sleep on Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, okay. That would be a surprise. That would be a dark horse to me.
Well, here's the thing. He's been talking to recruits and telling them and their parents he's pursuing NFL opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to tell a recruit that, lets you know he's trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
I would take it as such.
Yeah. Big Mike, who called in right before you did, who's an agent, former coach, and all that, said that the Harbaugh to Raiders thing is a real possibility. I can't see Stephen Ross letting Harbaugh come to the league and watching him coach up there in Las Vegas.
Well, without question. I totally agree with you. Despite what he said. I'm not going to, and it's semantics. I'm not going to be the man to take Jim Harbaugh away from the University of Michigan. But I won't turn him down if he decides to come here on his own volition.
Right. I ain't gonna close the door in his face if he show up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Willie Gibson, broadcast journalist, joining us from Columbus, Ohio, host of Will Knows podcast, member of the Folks Talking Sports podcast. Great stuff. 7, possibly 8 head coaching jobs. I'm going to go with these names. I'm going to go with Kellen Moore. I'm going to go with Doug Peterson. I'm going to go with your guy down there in Dallas running the defense, Dan Quinn.
Yep.
That's 3. Fill in those last 4. Don't have to even be teams, but fill in those last 4 names.
All right. Ira Leftwich.
Okay.
I know where you got Doug Peterson going. I disagree.
Yeah, I don't have teams. I'm just saying these 3 guys are going to get jobs this cycle.
Fair enough. Byron Leftwich.
Okay.
Eric Bieniemy.
Okay.
It's his time.
Okay.
It's his time.
I agree.
2 others. So I would venture to say Brian Flores. You mentioned Flores, right?
I didn't mention his name.
Okay.
Yep. That's give me one more.
All right, yeah, he gets back in quickly. I'm thinking that somebody off the wall that you see that like what?
I know because see, Joe Judge was that a couple of years ago. Joe Judge, who is this dude? So I'm thinking there's going to be somebody like that.
Mike Tomlin was that 15 years ago.
Yeah,
Truth
true.
be told.
True. Yep.
I will say, man, yeah, okay, this is off the wall for you, for real. Joe Brady.
Wow.
Told you.
Yeah, you didn't fib. That was off the wall. I hope you're wrong. But I hear you.
Joe Brady didn't do a bad job in Carolina. Joe Brady was fired by Matt Rule because he was the only viable candidate on his staff that could have taken over if David Tepper decided to fire Matt Rule. So that was job security.
We'll talk offline. We'll talk offline. Cause I got a straight like dead in their face source on that one. So we'll talk offline, all right?
Fair enough.
Willie, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, my brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Will Gibson 7 on Twitter, Instagram, Will Knows on Facebook, Will Knows Podcast. Folks Talking Sports Friday this week, Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Myself, OGKG, Chris Gardner, Andy Yanez, James Mueller, Cast of Thousands. Let's get it.
Hey, that's what the family does, man. I'm gonna start calling y'all the MC Hammer of broadcast journalists, man. Listen, we'll talk soon, brother. We will talk soon. I'll catch you after the show, all right?
Indeed. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Will Gibson joining in. I got to get out of the way. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on real quick, and then we'll get to the first hour on the books. Here's Sybil Wilkes and what you need to know today.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Wednesday. We're getting over that hump. January 12th, 2022. Number 1. President Biden and Vice President Harris took their support of voting rights legislation to Atlanta Tuesday. In the address on voting rights, the president said there is no option but to get rid of the Senate filibuster to get legislation passed that will overhaul the nation's voting access laws and counter the new changes enacted by Republican-led states. The White House was hoping to present unity among Democrats and voting rights organizations. Black Voters Matter, however, was among several activist organizations announcing they would not be there for the speech. Number 2. The Republican National Committee is still covering legal bills for former President Donald Trump, and the price tag is staggering. From September to November alone, the RNC spent nearly $3 million of its donor money to pay law firms representing Donald Trump in his various legal challenges. This practice is not entirely new and is not against the law, but Donald Trump and the entire Trump family have been benefiting from his financial windfall ever since the Mueller investigation following the 2016 election. Number 3, global health experts are casting doubts over reports of a new possible COVID-19 variant that appeared to be a combination of both the Delta and Omicron strains. The term Deltacron trended on social media over the weekend after it was reported that a researcher in Cyprus had discovered the potential new variant. Some experts have cast doubt over the findings, with one World Health Organization official tweeting that Deltacron is not real and is likely due to sequencing artifacts. Number 4, conservatives are suggesting people take 3 different types of testosterone suppressants ahead of the COVID-19 vaccine to treat the virus. According to the University of California, San Francisco, under their Trans Care website, these drugs are used for hormone-related therapy for trans women. These 3 drugs are a part of a group of testosterone blockers known as anti-androgens. Number 5, the Black and Missing Foundation needs help locating 40-year-old Sheena Gibbs. Sheena was planning to leave her residence in Rogers Park community in Chicago to care for her mother, who is hospitalized in Davenport, Iowa. If you or someone you know has information about the disappearance of Sheena Gibbs, please go to the Black and Missing Foundation website. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Recognizing the good in your life is showing gratitude to the universe. Inhale gratitude, exhale apathy. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with comedian extraordinaire, yeah, she really is, Myra J., bon vivant of the world, Stephen Hill, and our activist, Quinn Townsend Riley, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and the American Heart Association. To subscribe to my free daily newsletter, please visit SibylWilkes.com. Be informed, be empowered.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We ready. We ready. We ready. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm proud when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad.
Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Now, that's just first hour on the book, second hour underway here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. And without further ado, I got a young man who does it hard in the paint. It is none other than David Grubb. What's going on, brother? How you feel, man?
I appreciate you calling me young.
Yeah, bro.
I'll take that.
You're younger than me.
I felt old yesterday. I went to the doctor's office and got like a 6-inch needle injection into my right knee to help it heal. I felt old then.
Bruh, that we call those old sports injuries.
I'm old. I'm old.
I hear
I creak when it's cold.
Well, man, let me tell you, before you got in here, bro, we had it lit up. A lot of rumors out there. Several of my sources, and I'm not that guy. Oh, I got a source. I'm not that guy. But the big deal is the Houston Texans have not given the affirmative on bringing head coach David Culley back yet. And what I'm hearing is that they are legitimately exploring what it would look like if they brought in Joe Judge or Brian Flores or took a shot at Josh McDaniels. A lot of folks are like, well, they should do this. They got a head coach, so it's not like they can bring these dudes in and interview them. So what I'm being told is they want an affirmative before they make the move on Culley to bring these cats in.
It's one thing to say, if you got a clear upgrade, nobody's going to fault you for a clear upgrade. Of that group that you mentioned, is Josh McDaniels a clear upgrade? You don't know. That's a guess.
You don't know.
Brian Flores, he's got a track record over 3 seasons, taking the Dolphins from a sub 500 team to 2 winning seasons.
I would give him a thumbs up. I would. And I'm not doing black. To me, you bring back head coach David Culley. But based on your question, I would give Brian Flores a thumbs up on that based on track record.
And then you take a look at your third name and you say Joe Judge.
That's embarrassing.
You say Joe Judge. How are you going to tell your fan base that you're hiring a guy who got ran out of the plays that he called? You're not talking about a dumb fan base in Houston. These people who live football, and you're going to try to sell them Joe Judge. It's one thing to say, look, we saw some good things out of Davis Mills. We saw some good things out of this team at certain points of the season. We think we can go with Coach Culley, give him another run, which I think the only reason you fire a guy after 1 year is if they've completely lost control or they look like they have no idea what they're doing. The circumstances that David Culley was put under entering the season, from the quarterback to the lack of draft picks that they had, to the lack of interest by free agents to come to Houston, to the giveaways that have happened over the last few years, all the damage that's been done, you don't come out from under that in 1 year.
Right.
So what are you saying to the players in your locker room? What are you saying to the franchise externally? Because you already see that their owners talking about right now that the impression of their team is impacted by perceived instability. The Giants have to deal with that right now themselves. The Carolina Panthers could be in that position. A number of teams could be finding themselves where they got to go defend themselves to the next person that they want to hire. If Houston has to do that in the mix, what's so attractive right now about getting someone who can be an instant impact? Because A, those guys aren't out there, and B, why would they want to go to Houston?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the situation is going to be like talent-wise. You don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson. You have no idea what's going to happen at those skill positions where you still need some help, and you need help on that offensive line as well. There are a lot of holes there. And for somebody to take their first job or to take a reclamation job, you better have the right person in mind who's going to come in with a structure and have a real marriage with that front office to know these are the players I need, the type of players. You set the foundation of the type of players you're looking for, and you tell the front office to go out and get those guys. I don't know if you're going to bring somebody into Houston who's going to have that strong of a relationship with the front office, considering how much damage has been done there the last 2 years.
Wow, you said a lot right there. And when you said it, I start thinking, if that's the case, then you do. You either bring back Coach David Culley or you go with one of your former guys. And who had more tenure with Nick Caserio? And we got to keep saying his name because he's involved in this. Jack Easterby, then Josh McDaniels. And I'm hearing that Josh and Louis Riddick are tied at the hip. They want to go somewhere together. If that's the case, then the next man up is Brian Flores. I don't know how long Joe Judge was there. He was a quality control / special teams coach. So I forget how long he was there. But the next man up is Brian Flores. And based on what you said, the way you described it, he's the guy that has that kind of relationship with Jack Easterby, that relationship with Nick Caserio to be able to say, I need this. And you also talked about the locker room. 27 plus players had their contracts expire today. So there's about to be another huge turnover or, some big, some quick negotiations to bring this back. Or like you said, you got a whole new locker room to have to deal with. And then I got a question about Deshaun, but I got a statement about Deshaun, but I want you to go ahead and respond to that.
For Deshaun?
No, I'm talking about in reference to the way you described that, Brian Flores or Josh McDaniels is the answer to that question.
But if Josh McDaniels is tied to Louis Riddick, they're not going to give Louis Riddick the GM or the president job in Houston. Right. That's not going to happen.
Right. So it's one of those deals. Josh, will you take this job? No, I'm going with Louis. Okay, so be it. Brian.
Josh understands. He understands how important. He watched the relationship that Bill Belichick has with the front office in New England. That, when Scott Pioli was there was a collaborative relationship. For any coach to be successful, the best marriages are when the GM and the coach are on the same page.
Right. Yeah.
You look at it in New Orleans with Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton, always on the same page.
Right.
You go up to Kansas City, people on the same page.
Right.
You don't have controversies coming out of drafts when people say, why did they draft that guy? Because front office, people may be upset with a pick, but I guarantee you the coach and the head coach were on the same page with it.
Yeah.
You don't see that in a lot of places right now. And if you're Josh McDaniels, you're looking for your second job and you're hoping that's the one that sticks. You're trying to control your environment as much as possible. Otherwise, you wait it out in New England.
Yeah.
Then you see what happens then.
Yeah. No, I can see Josh and Louis going to Chicago. I don't know if they can get it done in Minnesota, especially if the Wolves are interested in Kellen Moore. But I could definitely see Josh and Louis going to Chicago and making some good impact in that.
Why was anybody want Kellen Moore to run their offense? Why?
Let me get to a caller question. Camilio, who is a alum from the Grambling State Tigers. Graham fam, what's up? He said, what's the word on Brother Watson? How does that play with the Texans picture? Funny you should say that. Now that the Miami Dolphins have moved on from Brian Flores, that reportedly clears the way for them to get engaged again with the possibility of bringing in Deshaun Watson. What I'm being told there is that there were 4 young ladies that held out on the settlement agreement. I'm also being told that those 4 young ladies now just want to get it over with. The wild card, though, in the picture is not Miami, is not the Texans, it's the attorney. Tony Busby is he can either make it go away or he can mess it up and hold it up. But what they're trying to do is get it resolved before the NFL does their investigation or finishes their investigation. And remember, Deshaun is supposed to be deposed in late February.
Yeah, the NFL's going to wait till the legal process plays out. That's what the NFL's going to do because the level of their punishment is going to be directly related to that. If he's, if he does a bunch of out-of-court settlements and gets this out of the way, then we probably miss 4 or 6 games. It'd be a lot of, even though I would say, look, it's worse than what Roethlisberger did as far as the sheer numbers.
Right.
And the actions alone, if they're true, are despicable. And then you have to deal with who's willing to sit out, have their quarterback sit out a third of the season in the NFL, knowing what you have to pay Deshaun to have him on your roster, what you're going to have to give up, because the Texans are still not going to let him walk out the door for nothing.
Right, absolutely.
And then you have to also deal with, can your market handle this? Can your market handle this? Because if you're in a place with intense media scrutiny, and that's what's going to happen when you bring in a new coach to Miami.
Right.
There's going to be scrutiny because everything is going to be compared to what Flores did over the last 2 years. Then how do you deal with the South Miami fan base that has mixed feelings about the Dolphins when it's good? That's not a real loyal fan base. They show up occasionally for the Dolphins. And if you come in there and you bring in a lot of controversy for a team that's just trying to even itself out and become a contender again, you have to be very careful about the type of veterans you have in your locker room. Does Miami have a veteran who's going to help take away from that? Because if Deshaun is the only face of the franchise, it's not Jalen Waddle, who's a rookie.
Right.
You know, who is the face of that franchise? And if it's Deshaun coming in, it ain't going to work.
Yeah, it can't be. It can't be. We got to take a break, David, but I want to talk about that a little further when we come back, because there's a team that's starting to emerge as a possible landing spot. And just right off the rip, it's the worst idea in the world. We'll be right back with David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint, MLBBro.com, and the voice of Tulane basketball right after this on Winning Wednesday.
If you have $2,000 or more in credit card debt, then listen up. We can reduce or eliminate your interest rates. Cut your monthly payment up to 50% and stop all late fees. Our company has been helping good people just like you get out of debt for over 30 years. Don't get stressed out. If you have $2,000 or more in credit card debt and medical bills, we can show you a way to reduce all of your bills to one lower monthly payment that you can afford. So again, if you have $2,000 or more in credit card debt and medical bills you can't afford, make this free call today and learn how you can finally get out of debt. Call now for your free consultation. 800-638-7112. 800-638-7112. 800-638-7112. That's 800-638-7112. Sponsored by Credit Card.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. 800-472-5145. That's 800-472-5145.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
You're having your lunch on the lunch break with KYOK.
All right, y'all. You only get one shot, and we taking it right now on Winning Wednesday on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Roku. You got a Roku streaming device, download BS3 TV. That's B as in Ben, S as in Sutter, the third TV, and you'll get us right there in the middle of some great shows. I got my brother, David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint, joining me with a little Eminem in the background, one of my favorite movies of all time. I watch that movie like it's a brand new. The only time I won't watch 8 Mile is when it's on network TV. I don't like the commercials. But if it pops up on HBO or Showtime or something like that, I'm all in. I'm all like it's brand new.
He still lost to Lotto. That's the one verse where he didn't win.
Stop!
That's the one verse where he didn't win. Lotto beat him.
No, David.
Because all he talked about was the tight shirt. That wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. The lyrics were not as at their best in that one. Which I mean, look, it's a movie. It's not perfect.
I know, but
that's the one verse. Lotto was the one.
Lotto was so close, so close.
Lotto had him, but the momentum is what got him. He got the momentum.
Right.
Once the crowd is behind you, if you hit your punchlines right, you good. You good. Yeah. But out of the verses in there,
I know he wasn't the champion. I know he wasn't the champ. But you don't beat a champion on a split decision. You got to knock him out. And Lotto had him dazed. He even said, man, he almost got me with that Leave It to Beaver line. But come on, bro. Come on.
I mean, he survived. That's all. Sometimes you just got to win the round on points, right?
That's it. We used to say, if it was an ugly win, get on the bus.
Sugar Ray was the king of stealing round points at the end of a round. That's how he beat Marvin Hagler. Sugar Ray shouldn't have won. I love Sugar. Shouldn't have won that fight. He stole the Browns at the end a bunch of times.
That's
true. It happened.
That's true. David Grubb, host of Hard to Paint, joining me here on the lunch break. We're talking about Deshaun Watson. One of the things that somebody texted me about that, originally it was the quarterback of the other team had to be a part of the trade, and young defensive potential players, plus the three first rounds, some second round picks. That's no longer the case. The Texans are all in on Davis Mills. So Miami would not have to send Tua to Houston to make that deal work. So guess what? Tua goes out there for those 4, 6, 8 games, however many it is, and then you go on from there.
Or they still trade Tua because you find a backup to hold down the fort. You trade Tua and you hope that you get some value for him, because there are teams that could be, in the market this year for at least some real competition. You don't know what's going to happen with Derek Carr in Las Vegas, if he's going to stay. You don't know if Russell Wilson is going to stay in Seattle. You don't know what the situation is with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. You don't know what's going to happen in Cleveland. So there could be a lot of landing spots. Pittsburgh, of course, yeah. Right. And then you talk about how many quarterbacks really are on the market. It's who are free agents. It's Jameis Winston at the top of that. And then who else beneath that as a free agent at quarterback? There aren't a lot of choices out there in the free agent market. So I think that, the Dolphins may be able to find somebody who can look, if you're the Giants, do you just say we need some competition for Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
If you're Washington, do you say, all we've got is Taylor Heineke back here and Ryan Fitzpatrick? Maybe we go out and take a shot on Tua and see what he can do.
Carolina.
Carolina. I get that they're married to Sam Darnold, but if you can get Tua on the cheap for, let's say, a third rounder and a player, what if you send Christian McCaffrey to Miami with a pick to get you Tua?
Yep.
Maybe that's the deal.
That could work.
If you're Atlanta, are you done with Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
And are you moving him somewhere and you need a quarterback and you can bring in Tua?
Right.
Who knows?
Right. You mentioned a team that has stepped up in the conversation, and it is the worst idea in the world. Washington should stay all the way away from Deshaun Watson. Not because he's not a good player, not because he couldn't help them win, but with everything else they got going on around that organization. I was shocked when Ron Rivera said, why wouldn't a player not talking about Deshaun so he doesn't get fined, but talking about Deshaun, saying, why wouldn't the player want to come here? Why wouldn't they want to win here? This area has a lot to offer. Nah, bruh, you ain't reading the room. Your organization needs a clean slate. You need to be disinfected, and Deshaun just ain't going to help that.
When you are still in the midst of not only the federal investigation and these other lawsuits that have been brought and people demanding to see the report, Daniel Snyder getting into more trouble this season beyond that report, the dysfunction that goes on from that organization top to bottom, you bring in Deshaun with his allegations and his baggage into that environment. Again, we're talking about a very not conservative group when you talk about the DC area, and you're going to bring in a guy with multiple sexual assault allegations in to be your starting quarterback. No, that's the worst place. This isn't even up to, you can't even compare this to like a Michael Vick, because Michael Vick served his time, came back, did everything you would want somebody to do in that situation. I can't stand the fact that people still hammer on him because it seems as if he learned his lesson and has been an advocate for all those things. That ain't this. Deshaun has given you nothing to make you, at the very least, believe that he's no longer making bad decisions. And that part right there, I can't have my starting quarterback, the representative of my franchise, be somebody that people in the streets question.
Yeah, I'll say this. Deshaun aside, Ron Rivera aside, there's got to be somebody in the building that's smarter than this is a good idea. Somebody in that building got to say, it might be a good idea. It might work. We're not doing it, though. We can't do it. There's got to be somebody like that. Yeah.
It's not worth the reward is not worth the risk in that case. Because if you're Washington, you already have a fairly decent team. you have a fairly decent team. You are some injuries, and you have a great wide receiver in Terry McLaurin. You've got solid running backs. You just don't have a great quarterback. You don't have that. You don't even have, Taylor Heineke's a backup for a reason. You don't have a quarterback, but there are other options available to you that are not going to upset the apple cart. And if you're Ron Rivera, Deshaun Watson ain't your type of quarterback anyway. I don't even understand. That's not the offense that he's run over the course of his career. He has never put the ball in his quarterback's hands in that way that you expect a 4,000-yard season out of the quarterback under Ron Rivera.
Yeah. We got David Grubb, host of Hard to Paint, joining us here on the Lunch Break Winning Wednesday, talking about a lot of the rumors. I asked Willie Gibson, host of Hard to Paint, a
That's
question.
Me. I'm host of Hard to Paint.
I'm sorry, Willie Gibson from the
show,
Will podcast. My bad. And Folks Talking Sports. My bad. I asked him this question. 7 jobs open right now in the NFL. I'm going to give you 3 names. You fill in the other 4. All right? Kellen Moore, Doug Peterson, and my defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, Dan Quinn. They get jobs. Who fills in those other 4s, in your opinion? Don't pick teams. Just give me names.
I think 2 of them are going to be people we haven't heard of.
I asked that question too. Give me. Joe Judge was a who? What? Give me a couple of those, if you will. But fill in those. Fill in those 4 jobs.
Yeah, I'm thinking because I'm just thinking about Joe Judge and Serini and guys like this. Even when you go back to John Harbaugh, you've had these folks pop up out of nowhere. I think Dennis Allen with the Saints is going to get a job.
Wow. Okay.
You put together a top 5 defense 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. This has been one of the best defenses in the NFL. And he did it with some mismatched parts this year. Look, if you got a defensive coordinator to figure out how to shut out Tom Brady, you telling me his phone won't ring?
Yep.
Beating Tom Brady 4 times in a row in the regular season?
Yep.
You telling me his phone won't ring?
Yep.
His phone was ringing. Certainly, you hope Eric Bieniemy gets a chance.
Okay.
Legitimately out, most likely in Denver, I would think. Just because they have a defense in place, but their offense has been stagnant for 3-4 years. It's a shame because guys like Anthony Lynn won't get another shot. I don't know if Raheem Morris gets one this go round. Same with, I think Byron Leftwich is the front runner in Jacksonville right now because there's clamoring to at least get some connection. You've seen them try to do this. This is what the Jags do. Urban Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Tebow, you bring in guys who the folks in Jacksonville know, but I think at least with Byron Leftwich, you got a track record of success in the NFL. So let me talk to that guy. But I think it's, there will be 1 or 2 special teams coaches or something like that, or somebody from college that we never heard of who steals a job.
All right, let me give you a name and you just say yes or no. Bill O'Brien.
No. I think he now that we look across this league and there's not a single Bill Belichick former assistant under employment right now, not one. They all gone. You ain't bringing back Bill O'Brien. You just saw that ass.
Let me take a break. Let me take a break, and we'll delete that from the recording. We'll be right back right here on the Lunch Break on the legendary KYOK.
Are you looking to start a business? From side hustles to major business opportunity, Franchise 123 connects franchise with sellers. 1,000 franchises for you to choose from. In
SBC won't get you for that.
Call. Our live agents.
I'm looking at my phone. See if it's gonna ring.
We give you free access.
SBC will leave you alone on that one.
Free access, no cost. We are the largest online franchise database in the world. You can find 95% of all businesses. Buying a franchise doesn't have to be complicated. We make it easy. And right now, some have no startup fees. You can turn your special skill into a franchise business or go full scale with all the top franchise businesses in the world. Sign up with Franchise 123 now and get your free guide to franchise success now. Call 800-419-5344, 800-419-5344, or text Franchise 123 to 63566. Text Franchise 123 to 63566.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Two radio stations in one.
Talk with your boy TD Blackshear every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. See you there. Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Hey guys, this is your girl Brandy Nelson, and you are listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
Thank you, Brandy Nelson. Mac, right here on the lunch break, legendary KYOK, all new 92.3 FM, streaming live, KYOKradio.org. I got my brother like no other, David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint, joining me. I was getting him with my other brother, Willie Gibson, host of Will Knows Podcast and a member of Folks Talking Sports. Had him on the show earlier, and David and I are just kind of going through this. So I asked a question before the break about Bill O'Brien getting a job this time around. And let me just say this. The public relations campaign has already started. Has already started. Cody Benjamin, who I've had on the show, writer for CBS Sports, has ranked the Bill Belichick NFL head coaches from the Belichick coaching tree. At number 9, Joe Judge, with a record of 10-23. At number 8, Matt Patricia, with a record of 13-29-1. Number 7, Romeo Crennel, record of 32-63. Number 6, Josh McDaniels, with a record of 11-17 as a head coach. Number 5, Eric Mangini, 33-47, 0-1 in the playoffs. Number 4, Al Groh, 9-7 with the Jets. Number 3, Nick Saban, 15-17 with the Dolphins. Number 2, Brian Flores with a record of 24-25. And number 1 and reigning Bill Belichick heavyweight former coach champ of the world, Bill O'Brien.
For
Bill
what?
O'Brien with a record
Just
of
because he has the most wins?
52-48, 2-4 in the playoffs.
No, he came like you have to look at this situationally too. What happened? He came to Houston when the Colts were down, right? The Jags are the Jags, and Tennessee was about what, and every time they played Tennessee, they got beat by Tennessee. So what did O'Brien do? And then you have to count his front office as part of his, because the front office guy set the coach up. He's the one who so you take Bill O'Brien. I don't understand Saban being in the top 5. What did Saban do? It's not about insulting him, but what did he do? You just throwing him up there for name value? Because he doesn't belong there. At least Josh McDaniels made the playoffs. I mean, Josh McDaniels made the playoffs with Tim Tebow under center. So, I mean, I'd give him a little bit more credit than what Saban did. And you also got to say Saban messed up on the quarterback decision, taking Dante Culpepper over Drew Brees. So why would you put Saban up that high? Saban had players quit on him, didn't want to be there. Why would you put him that high? I don't get it. I don't get it. Flores, yes, belongs where he is. He's the only one who's taken something and built it up a little bit better, and then he had to leave. The rest of those guys never had more than a season, really, that you thought they were contenders. Even with Houston's relative success, did you ever think that they were a legit Super Bowl team? No.
They never once made it to the AFC Championship game. Never once. Never once. We're never close to making it to the AFC Championship game. Never once. So they won the high school district championship. They won the district title.
And then you see this year that Alabama offense was not nearly as good as people want to pretend it was. I watched him play LSU. I watched him play Georgia. I watched him play Auburn. And out of those teams, LSU was in its third string defense. Auburn maybe has one or two guys who might go to the NFL on that front line, but they're not great at linebacker and at corner. And then you take Georgia, which is about as close to an NFL defense as Bama was going to face this year, and they manhandled them up front, and they made Bryce Young look incredibly average because if the pocket wasn't clean, Bryce Young couldn't do anything. He didn't show you an ability to move around in the pocket. He didn't show you an ability to make tight throws into tight windows. If it's not wide open, that's the big thing with Bama quarterbacks over the years. As soon as the windows get tight and the pressure comes on, which of these Bama quarterbacks outside of Jalen Hurts, really, because I don't even count Tua in that. Tua's another dude who needs a clean pocket. I think if you look at Bill O'Brien on the effort that he did in that game, couldn't get in the end zone with 3 straight red zone opportunities. Why do you want that guy with your NFL team?
I was watching that game and I said, now y'all see what we endured here in Houston with Bill O'Brien's red area, because he wouldn't call it the red zone for some obnoxious reason. Red area play calling deficiencies. That dude cannot get it in the end zone from the red zone, red area, red relief, red rash, whatever. And it was just like, dude, you have not changed at all. You still don't know what to do inside the 20.
And you saw the throws that they were making. You saw opportunities when they should have run on 3rd and 3 that they're going and trying to go downfield. The interception that he threw made no sense. It made no sense. You thought you were going to complete a deep out to the sideline? No, they did not put that team in position to win. They didn't figure anything out. They didn't make any adjustments offensively. Yeah. If the big play wasn't going to be there.
Yeah. I'll just say this. Bill O'Brien is who we thought he was. But I have a feeling with Bill Belichick and Nick Saban making some phone calls, he's going to get one of those 7 jobs. I just have a feeling. I could be wrong.
Saban must want him to go then. Saban must want him to go then. Like, if that's the case, if Saban writes him a letter of recommendation, he wants him to leave. Because he wasn't as good as Steve Sarkisian even was running that Bama offense. He wasn't as good as Lane Kiffin was running that Bama offense.
He wasn't as good as Michael. He wasn't good as Loxley either. He wasn't good as Loxley. So I'll just say, I hope I'm wrong, but I believe Bill O'Brien might get one of those 7 openings. I might be wrong.
Then that tells you everything you need to know about the NFL.
I already know. That I already know. David, I got to give my quarterback rankings. I do it based on passer rating because, that was out there first. I don't do QBR. It's a made-up number. Number 1 quarterback this year after 18 weeks, Aaron Rodgers. One of the most accurate quarterbacks I've seen in my lifetime. He could put it in places where most folks wouldn't even try.
There are only 3 quarterbacks, like, just for me, that I've seen throw the ball the way Aaron Rodgers does. It's like it's so pretty and with velocity and gets to the spot. It's him, Warren Moon, who maybe threw the most beautiful ball ever. The spirals were just so ridiculously tight.
Yeah.
And then, probably Jeff George really is just a thrower of the football.
Right.
Not a great head guy, but just
he didn't have a brain, but he had an arm.
He could put the ball anywhere at any time and had the confidence to put it in there.
Yeah.
Watching Aaron Rodgers throw is a clinic because he doesn't have to resort to the stuff that Mahomes does. I think that's the thing that's the difference for Mahomes at this point is that Mahomes has to make wild throws. He has to do these contortions with his arm and the sideways stuff and all that. Aaron Rodgers ain't got to do. Aaron Rodgers is about efficiency. He don't waste anything.
Yeah, speaking of that, completed 69% of his passes, 37 touchdowns, 4 INTs. Aaron Rodgers, number 1. But guess who's number 2? Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I'll go with that. You see all this stuff of people talking about Tom Brady should be MVP. No. Joe Burrow just took the Bengals to a division championship, put up $4,000, 2,000-yard receivers, and a 1,000-yard rusher. I'm sorry, they are when they're on offense, you have to watch them.
Right.
You have to watch them because it's not, you don't know what kind of drive you're going to get. It could be a one play 80-yard drive. It could be a running drive. It could be, and Burrow is everything he walked in the building to be.
Yep. Number 3, a name that surprises a whole lot of folks, but when I look at the stats, I ain't shame about it at all. Number 3, Dak Prescott, 4,449 yards, 69% completion, 37 touchdowns, 104.2 passer rating. He's number 3.
What more do people want from Dak? He had his struggles at times this season, but let's be real. That defense, as talented as it is, they give up a lot of big plays. Dallas got in more shootouts probably than they should have been, putting more pressure on Dak. He missed some of his receivers for different parts of the season. Ezekiel Elliott has not been Ezekiel Elliott for 2 years. For 2 years. There are, this is still a team, most of its talented receivers are third year or younger. You're talking about a very young, skill position set. And, again, they won the division. They did everything they were supposed to do.
12 wins. 12 and 5.
I just think Dak is people are so quick to talk him down as a player. Like, he's a weird dude. I wouldn't hang out with him.
Yeah.
But as a quarterback, he signed the deal. He came back and he gave you everything you could ask for.
Yeah, somebody tried to call me and tell me yesterday he couldn't read defenses. I told we're not going to do that on my show. We're not going to do that on my show. There are not many people that read defenses better than Dak Prescott. We're just not going to talk that on my show. So I shut that down.
You got to also remember he's got Mike McCarthy, who has made some questionable play calls throughout his career.
Bruh. I'm going to leave that alone. Number 4 surprised even me, but by my stats and my metrics, number 4, Kirk Cousins.
Nah, I can't ride with you there, man.
103.1 passer rating, 4,200 yards passing, 66% completion percentage, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Got him at number 4.
He doesn't take any. He's different than Aaron Rodgers. His lack of picks come from lack of risk.
I agree.
And look, again, a guy blessed with all the weapons in the world: Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. He's got all the weapons in the world. He's got a very good defense opposite him. But he's Matthew Stafford of the Northeast now, because since Matthew left Detroit and went over to the West Coast, Kirk Cousins is that guy who does not win big games for you. So I can't
give you all of that. Again, just pure on stats, got him at number 4. Number 5, a guy who we don't know what's going to happen with him, but wherever he goes, he's going to win. Russell Wilson. I got him at number 5.
Yeah, Russell, I think, again, a guy who's been hurt by the fact that his team isn't as good, that the offensive line has not been as good, that, it's just not the same squad in Seattle that gives him an opportunity to do what he does. I think he needs a reset at this stage of his career.
Pittsburgh. I'm sorry.
Folks in New Orleans don't want to hear that, but Pittsburgh could be the landing spot for him.
He can go black and gold. I won't be mad. If he goes to New Orleans, I'll be one happy man.
I think Russ might be looking for some better weather too.
Yeah.
Look, Sierra ain't trying to be up in the snow and the rain no more. She done that. She from Atlanta. She won't come back to the South.
Look, ain't nobody making music or movies in Pittsburgh. All right. Number 6, again, I'll rock with him on stats, but I don't think you can win with this dude. Number 6 is Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, you know how I feel about Matthew Stafford. I told everybody last week that they weren't going to win that game against San Francisco because it didn't matter. It didn't matter that the stakes were that the Rams win that and get the 2 seed. It didn't matter. It's Matthew Stafford, and he did what he did. He threw 2 bad interceptions, and at times you saw his accuracy was not there over the course of the game. And I don't know how you underthrow Odell Beckham Jr. I don't understand that at all.
Bro,
and Stafford has the arm.
Let it rip. He didn't let it rip. Now, listen, who would have been number 7, but he didn't finish the year, would have been Jameis Winston, would have been number 7. 102.8 passer rating, completed 60% of his passes at the time, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Who is number 7? Tom Brady at number 7, 102.1 passer rating, 5,300 yards passing, 43 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and Tom is still pretty accurate.
But all the games they lost because he turned the ball over. You know, his turnovers cost his team wins. And that ultimately is the thing that keeps him from the MVP in my mind, is that when he turned the ball over, they directly led to Tampa Bay losses.
Yeah.
You know, that game against the Saints, he throws 2 picks against the Saints. They don't score a point.
Yeah.
They only had one trip to the Reds, to the Saints side of the field that game.
Yeah.
You can't be the MVP when that happens.
Right.
Not against a team that has no quarterback,
Yep.
no offense, and you
Yeah.
get blasted 12-0 at home.
Yeah.
That right there was the game that ended it for me. And that's not as a Saints partisan. That's
Yeah.
as no MVP should get shut out at home by a team that they were a double-digit favorite over.
Yeah. Let me give you my last 2 for the top 10. Number 8, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, 100.6 passer rating, 69% completion, 37, almost 3,800 passing yards, and he carried that team when everybody else was either laid up, locked up, or sequestered.
Again, he missed too many games. I think that's what keeps him low too. He missed 4 games this season, and then they lost a couple down the stretch that you would have hoped that they had been able to win. But Kyler, this was the year that we thought he was going to have last year.
Yeah.
He has put himself in that tier of quarterbacks, that franchise quarterbacks.
Yep.
And I think also too with Kyler, the maturity of how he runs the football.
Right.
He's not running to run. He's running to get yards.
Correct. Number 9, Jimmy Garoppolo. Number 10, Patrick Mahomes rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, I think this is a disappointing year for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
How can you not look at it as a disappointment? He threw a lot of bad passes. He cost his team some winnable games at times.
13 interceptions, 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 66% completion percentage, but he still threw for 4,800 plus yards.
Because he's the offense, though.
Right.
Kansas City goes away from the run so many times, even though they got 3 backs back there who are capable of doing the job. Andy Reid falls in love with the pass.
Yep.
And also because of the turnovers that Mahomes has had at different points, they've been playing from behind and they've had to throw so much. I think Kansas City is probably still the favorite in the AFC. Yeah, sure. But they don't look like the team that you saw the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's true. Let me take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up right after this. David Grubb, host of Hard in the Paint, sitting in with me on Winning Wednesday on the lunch break.
Well, I hope you are enjoying your weekend. Hey, everybody, it's Erica Campbell.
And I'm Griff from Get Up Mornings.
We want to thank you so much for rocking with us every weekday morning.
And after you enjoy your weekend, make sure you start your work week with us.
When you start your day with us, we'll help you get moving and motivated to have the best day ever. Go ahead, say it, Griff.
Best day ever!
So wake up with us. We'll be faith walking,
Love talking,
and joy living on Get Up Mornings.
You're listening to
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Behind a desk every day to earn a living. You're out and about making it happen. And sometimes you get a little bit behind on your paperwork, like bookkeeping and paying your taxes. It's easy to get behind on paying your taxes. It happens to the best of us. And you know what happens next. The big bad IRS comes knocking on your door. And when that happens, you need to call the good old boys at the Tax Doctor. Let them do what they do best. Deal and negotiate with the IRS so you pay the lowest you can in back taxes that the law allows. We are a 100% U.S.-based company, and we've saved our clients millions over the years in back taxes. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, call my friends right now at the Tax Doctor and learn more.
800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
This is Jasmine Highsmith, and you're having Inside of Sports with your lunch here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
All right, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live, KYOKradio.org, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Roku. David Grubb, host of Hard to Paint, hanging out with me on this Winning Wednesday. We talked a lot of football. I know a lot of folks want to talk about the playoffs, but I want to talk a little basketball before we get out of there. New Orleans is surprising some teams. New Orleans is beating some teams that I don't know if I thought they would be beating this time of year. You cover them. Tell me what you're seeing down there with the Pelicans.
It's coming together, but it's not complete. There's a lot missing still. But over their last 22 games, this team is 12-10. And, they're a game and a half out of the 10th spot. And they've done that without Zion Williamson. They're at the halfway point, 15 wins. They won 31 last year, 30 the year before that. So they're on pace, essentially, to be what they were last year, a little bit worse percentage-wise. But the way that they played over these last, 22 games, if they can be 500 the rest of the year, close to it, I think they grab that 10th spot. And you can do that even without Zion. And, I think Zion, they fully intend for him to be back. I think he needs to play this season because the ultimate evaluation of the Pelicans is going to be whether or not next year Zion is really a part of this team or not. Because I think the main question this offseason for the Pelicans is going to be, Zion, are you committed? You're asking that question straight up. Are you here or not? If you're not, cool. We'll deal with it. But what you've seen is that Brandon Ingram has grown into a legitimate all-star, not just a statistical one.
Yeah.
The way he's played is like an all-star. Last night, 10 of the Pelicans' last 11 points, 3-pointers, bang, 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 hit 6 of them. And I think that was a career high for him in that game. That a 4-point play and then the buzzer beater at the end from about 34 feet.
Yeah.
So you look at Ingram maturing. You have some solid parts in Herb Jones, who I think, is going to be an all-rookie team and maybe an all-NBA defender this year. Jonas Valanciunas is giving you your inside production. Their starting 5 is solid. The bench is abysmal. But you got to give credit to Detroit Willie Green because he set the culture. He set the tone, and he's holding guys accountable. But at the same time, Willie says he doesn't call players out. He calls them up.
Yeah.
And that's been huge. It's been huge because this team has had its own adversities this year, but they don't back down from people now. Finally, 3 years into this, they found their mojo. But I'm worried that people are going to get ahead of the game here and try to have the Pelicans jump after a star when that doesn't happen during the regular season.
Right.
You don't grab that guy who's your ultimate piece in the regular season unless you're a championship team and you're finding your Rasheed Wallace like the Pistons did. That doesn't happen for mediocre teams.
Yeah.
You can't take somebody from another bad team and think all of a sudden you're going to be good.
Yeah. David, let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you about 2 teams in the East and 2 teams in the West. I'll start West first. Who was the bigger surprise for you, the Phoenix Suns or the Golden State Warriors right now?
Neither is really surprising.
Okay.
For me, really, no, because, we saw the Suns. The Suns might be the deepest team in the NBA.
I think.
Because during this streak that they've been on, I know they lost a couple games ago, but they've had like 9 or 10 guys average double figures. The Suns are deep, and they play defense, and they don't live or die by the 3. They can make mid-range shots.
Right.
Chris Paul's going to get you. Like, he got Bismack Biyombo 13.5 a game. Phoenix is a surprise. And for Golden State, once they got those veterans in place and they didn't have those mistakes on the floor, you still have 3 Hall of Famers sitting there, and maybe a 4th if Andre Iguodala can, somehow get in. You might have a 4th Hall of Famer on your roster, but everybody on there, the Warriors do as good a job as any team in the NBA of defining roles and then letting guys be relaxed in performing them. Andrew Wiggins having the best year of his career now, shooting the ball from 3. Look, there's a lot to be said with both of those teams. The surprise in the West is Memphis.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Memphis served notice last night, by the way.
Come on now.
John said, I see you, I hear you, I got you, but this ours tonight.
I can't lie to you and say I didn't prefer that the Pelicans had drafted John Moran over Zion. I said it then. I live by it now.
All right, here we go. East, biggest surprise, the Bulls or the Nets?
The Bulls. I've never had a whole bunch of confidence in the Nets. I think they're going to win games, but I don't like their makeup. I don't like the part-time nature of a lot of these guys. I don't like the fact that they really don't have a solid front court. Blake Griffin is dying out there. It's just they are missing pieces, and they're reliant really on the brilliance of Kevin Durant. That's who you're really relying on, because Harden has not been consistent. And Kyrie is going to have his moments, but he's not there for half the games.
Right.
So it has to be Chicago, because even with their additions, they didn't add any winners, guys who had any experience winning games. And now those young guys are growing up fast.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I don't know what it is about the chemistry of Brooklyn. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And bringing Kyrie back has affected my guy coming off Patty Mills, yeah.
Thomas.
His whole flow has changed now that Kyrie has come back, and Patty was getting you 30 a couple times in different games, and his shooting percentage was off the chart, and now he's back to off the bench Patty.
One of the mistakes I think a lot of fans and I think owners make this mistake too. Just adding talent in and of itself does not make your team better.
Right.
You have to have a tier system on your roster, and you can have too much of one thing and not enough of another. And I think where the Nets are missing is that they didn't build the bottom of their roster with role players. They built it with old stars.
Right.
And I think that's a mistake.
Yep. No, and I think that's why we saw Milwaukee rise to the top last year. All right, man. Hey, we got to get ready to go, brother. Tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, and keep up with the amazing work you do.
Thank you. At DM Grub on Instagram and Twitter, and you can get Hard to Paint wherever you get your podcast. New one out today. Me, Ross Jackson, and Maddie Hudak doing a season in review of the New Orleans Saints. Also, there's another episode from Monday up on the New Orleans Pelicans, and I'll be posting another on Friday. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, keep on the lookout for new Hard to Paint.
Brother, as always, I really appreciate you, man. Thanks for making time for us here in the family. You be safe out there. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. Bye.
All right, David Grubb, host of Hard to Paint, doing it well. Y'all be sure and keep following me. If you're new and you haven't been following David Grubb on Hard to Paint, do that for me, all right? Let me get Sybil Wilkes on here one last time. I'll come back with the birthdays after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Wednesday. We're getting over that hump. January 12th, 2022. Number 1. President Biden and Vice President Harris took their support of voting rights legislation to Atlanta Tuesday. In the address on voting rights, the president said there is no option but to get rid of the Senate filibuster to get legislation passed that will overhaul the nation's voting access laws and counter the new changes enacted by Republican-led states. The White House was hoping to present unity among Democrats and voting rights organizations. Black Voters Matter, however, was among several activist organizations announcing they would not be there for the speech. Number 2. The Republican National Committee is still covering legal bills for former President Donald Trump, and the price tag is staggering. From September to November alone, the RNC spent nearly $3 million of its donor money to pay law firms representing Donald Trump in his various legal challenges. This practice is not entirely new and is not against the law, but Donald Trump and the entire Trump family have been benefiting from his financial windfall ever since the Mueller investigation following the 2016 election. Number 3, global health experts are casting doubts over reports of a new possible COVID-19 variant that appeared to be a combination of both the Delta and Omicron strains. The term Deltacron trended on social media over the weekend after it was reported that a researcher in Cyprus had discovered the potential new variant. Some experts have cast doubt over the findings, with one World Health Organization official tweeting that Deltacron is not real and is likely due to sequencing artifacts. Number 4, conservatives are suggesting people take 3 different types of testosterone suppressants ahead of the COVID-19 vaccine to treat the virus. According to the University of California, San Francisco, under their Trans Care website, these drugs are used for hormone-related therapy for trans women. These 3 drugs are a part of a group of testosterone blockers known as anti-androgens. Number 5. The Black and Missing Foundation needs help locating 40-year-old Sheena Gibbs. Sheena was planning to leave her residence in Rogers Park community in Chicago to care for her mother, who is hospitalized in Davenport, Iowa. If you or someone you know has information about the disappearance of Sheena Gibbs, please go to the Black and Missing Foundation website. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Recognizing the good in your life is showing gratitude to the universe. Inhale gratitude, exhale apathy.
All right, thank you very much there, Sybil Wilkes, and What You Need to Know. Let me get the birthdays on real quick. Happy birthday going out to Terrence Branch, young man. Happy birthday. Pearly George is the big 6-0 today. Sean Gradney is celebrating a birthday along with Antoine Dotson Person. Mita is celebrating her birthday along with Charles Osaw. Nina Not Yours is celebrating along with Ida Laura Mills. Deborah Allen, BJ Johnson, Mumbai Karuki is celebrating a birthday with Ronald Motti, and then Marsha Metoyer and Mocha Brown and Maybelle Boma are celebrating birthdays along with the following celebrity birthdays today. We got to say happy birthday to Tom Dempsey. He passed in 2020, hit the longest field goal ever back in 1969 of 63 yards. Drew Pearson, former Dallas Cowboys, celebrate birthday along with Dominique Wilkins. Happy birthday, y'all. Usher, take us out of here.
Oh, go shawty, it's your birthday. Ooh, it's your birthday. Go shawty, it's your birthday. Today's your day.
1140 AM, KYOK Conroe, and 92.3 FM, K222CX Houston.
All right, y'all. Happy birthday to everybody celebrating birthdays and anniversaries. Happy anniversary to all those good folks out there. I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I really did. Want to thank Willie Gibson for coming on. Want to thank Big Mike for coming on. And, of course, my brother David Grubb. As always, let's not be divided. Let's find a way to be united. I really do love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Throwback Thursday, right here on The Lunch Break.